Hi everyone, and welcome to the final event of the ICP Zero to Dapp Educate series. Thank you all for joining. It's nice to see all of you here. Drop me a message in the chat, say hi. I'd love to hear, how you've enjoyed this series and what you've learned and all your experiences. Would love to kind of hear from you guys. Today we have a really exciting session. So we're going to be hearing from 3 different ICP grantee projects who will be talking a bit about their experience in the ecosystem and just share some really cool insights with you guys. So make sure to drop questions in the questions tab, and I'm sure they'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Please stay tuned until the end of this session, because for the final 5 minutes or so, I will just do a really quick run through of what the next steps are in terms of like upcoming opportunities and also the price announcement for the weekly challenges, which is really exciting. So stay tuned for that. I'll also be sharing the week 4 challenge with you guys, which is a challenge that everyone can do, absolutely everyone. So make sure to stay tuned for that. I'm going to stop blabbering on and invite the first speaker to the stage, which is Ethan from AgorApp. So he will be joining the stage in just a second. What are the prices? I can't tell you yet. You have to stay until the end to find out. I know it's really difficult, but hi, Ethan. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Did I pronounce AgorApp correctly, or is it
AgorApp? Yeah,
AgorApp.
AgorApp. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. I'm just going to kind of let you do your session. Yeah, in the meantime, you can just share your screen, and any questions will be put in the questions tab on the right, so you can see them there.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for having me. Myself, I'm co-founder of AgorApp, COO, running a lot of the product development, management, and communications with AgorApp. But a bit about AgorApp. What we are is a agnostic interactive development environment. So we have the ability to plug in different programming languages from different chains. In a way, we were inspired from Code Academy, their IDE. So we're bringing this into the Web3 space to allow interactive education is our main focus. And in a way, our vision is to implement a sort of a Code Academy hybrid of Udemy model in the future. But currently, we're in the building stage of really building up the IDE, bringing in different chains around the Web3 space. Feel free, you can check out and join our Discord as well. So I'll start off a little bit about why we decided to do this. A lot of the problems that we were seeing is that in the Web3 space, there's a lot of read-only docs. In addition, sort of the crowdsourcing element to allow users to create their own courses and challenges within IDE is really non-existent. So think of if you were like Code Academy's IDE, if you were able to create your own courses there like Udemy model. So that was inspiration there. And so that's in a way our solution. We're mimicking that model of Code Academy, but also in the future, we'll have an external contributor feature to allow others to build from different chains and communities. So right now, our current product, we have a course catalog. This is where we show with Internet Computer from the course content of the grants we did. We have other chains as well on there. These courses are lesson based. So after you solve the solution from theory on one side to the right, you solve the solution, you go on to the next lesson. So very similar to Code Academy approach. approach. Our IDE is also embeddable. If you actually will check out Internet Computer, their documentation, the Motoko interactive tutorial, you'll find our IDE embedded there that does the whole length of Motoko, and it's an extensive sort of education part of that. So definitely feel free to check that out. That was actually part of our grant program that I'll tell a little bit more in a bit. More things that we're doing. In January, we're going to be launching what we call competition challenges. So these challenges are either for optimization of the code. So for example, the least amount of gas for the solution, or security challenges to find vulnerabilities or hack a smart contract. And this will involve a leaderboard, and we will the competition will last for 7 days, and then we reward with USDT to our top finalists in these competitions. So this is something that we're pretty excited for. We think we'll have an element to bring in more users to the platform. Right now, a lot of our users are mostly in the beginner stage. And then finally, we have an account page that allows you to track what you've studied and done. This will be used for, especially in the future, to kind of showcase as a student what you've achieved if you were looking to get hired by a specific chain. And yeah, and then our main vision that will happen in the future is to, like I was saying before, the crowdsourced education, to allow really users to create their own courses and challenges. There was a company called, in the past, called Katakoda. And they were a little bit of an inspiration, and they had a lot of users. They ended up selling to O'Reilly, who discontinued their crowdsourcing model, but they actually had a successful use case of allowing users to create education content within an IDE. So it was a big inspiration. And they got discontinued, and to this day, there's a sort of a lack of someone filling that space in the education scene. So we're from that inspiration, we're diving into that. And so I'll kind of tell you how this all began. We were in a hackathon end of 2019. It was called Hack to the Moon. And this is actually where the core team of AgorApp met. We worked on a Dapp idea that luckily we won the Matic track at the time before they were known as Polygon. And we received a small grant, and we completed the product. We had trouble though we didn't have our own node. We hooked up this Dapp to public nodes, but we kept crashing the public nodes. So it was one of those, trial and error during the early stages of layer 2. But then since then, we had been dabbling with different Dapp ideas, different chains, kind of being a little bit agnostic ourselves, spinning up different Dapps. And around the beginning of 2022, that's when we were thinking, hey, the idea with AgorApp, knowing that we had like a skill set to dabble of how to spin up different Dapps, that AgorApp for an education platform and the opening of having such an IDE in the market seemed plausible. And really, we actually had this as only a hobby project. It was one whole year we were just working on our free time. I mean, even there was times we would meet at a pub and have a beer and just working there, and people would think we're weird. But I think is an effective way, especially to even recruit a team, knowing that a project is a hobby and that maybe there's a chance that it'll make money. But if you don't have those high expectations and really like work as a hobby, wonders happen, and you'll find that people will even want to come and join you to work on that. So I really advise, when you're starting a project, really, especially when you have other people that want to join, really make it a fun atmosphere. Like, it's a project, we have nothing to lose. I do recommend that. And so really what that did was, after a year of developing this IDE, we began applying to grants. And one of those grants was with DFINITY. And this really is what kind of allowed us to create an actual team and to start even making some salary from it, from all the hard work we were putting in. So right now we're actually going on our third grant with DFINITY Internet Computer. In the beginning, we had a small grant, and I recommend normally, you always will start small, do something very realistic, show basically your proof that you can accomplish it. And then you'll notice, especially in the DFINITY Grants program, that you'll be able to extend that, maybe even put in having the next grant with more work. It will be higher amount of money that you will be to tackle that, and always obviously plan to make sure what you do now, you have another opportunity to even grow what you proved yourself there. So we basically built a runtime, which was adding Motoko into the IDE. And then we showcased a proof of concept course that was just 4 lessons to show how this system would work. And then from that, we built the extensive editable Motoko tutorial, which you saw from the screenshot that's right now embedded with the Internet Computers documentation. And now we're doing the actual same thing, but for ASL, and developing the runtime and tutorial. And I guess to give a few tips, we our AgorApp, we only recently became a company like 2 months ago. So in the beginning, we were just freelancers working for grants. So I actually recommend to do this because, having the responsibility to register a company can be difficult, especially if the project doesn't work out, the process of closing that company. So all you need to do, and especially all grant programs, especially with DFINITY, they allow this. You basically accept it as a freelancer. You just make sure that when you receive the grant money, to make that percent that goes to taxes for your income, you set aside, and then you can share it with the rest of your colleagues in the project. So definitely recommend, you don't have to go crazy becoming a full-blown company there until you start actually or making revenue. The project looks like is succeeding, then you can register. Again, like I was saying, really start small, especially with the grant program. Don't go too crazy to overestimate yourself. And just make sure that you also have already started work. I'm not sure if they've given grants to just ideas to people, but it'd be very helpful if you would develop some aspect of the project already to showcase them before going into the grant. So make sure to just, on those off hours, after work or on the weekend, meet with your team, work for a few months on it, and then apply to a grant, showcase what you're capable of. A few tips there. And I think that's it. If you guys ever have any questions, you can reach me on Telegram. So I'll be very happy to answer, check out what you guys are doing. But thank you very much for letting me on.
Thank you so much, Ethan, for sharing. People are loving it in the chat. You're getting loads of comments, people asking where they can basically access all of this. So you're getting great feedback.
I saw open source too. Yeah, for the different grants, we are open sourcing. We are. And I guess if you guys, I don't know if I didn't even show where the link was, but I will add, that's the link so you guys can check it out. We are still in the early stages, just building up, continuing, adding more course content. Let me see if there's anything else.
I think there was just some new questions now coming in.
Okay. What's the next big coup? Okay, well, it looks like the open source. Yeah, that's something we do for each runtime that we've built. And feel free to check it out. Love to hear some feedback. Feel free to join also our Discord to write anything. We have a feedback channel. And then get ready if you guys be interested to check out our competitions come January.
Let's see. One thing I wanted to do as well, if that's okay with you, Ethan, is to just get a really quick picture for our socials. I
Sure.
don't know if you prefer to have one of the slides or if it's okay for you to just have it be you and me, but if you could just kind of smile on 3 or do whatever you want to do for the photo.
Freeze the smile.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, smile. Great. Okay, thank you. I saw that there's a new new question just in the regular chat as well as the questions tab.
Yeah. If you have any mobile, so we're right now just a web app, but it is compatible if you would open up on your browser on mobile. So the actual IDE does work that way. But most users, you'll use your desktop browser. We haven't thought about creating a native for this type of IDE, but hopefully that answers your question there.
There was someone who asked in the questions tab if you can share more about how you prepared to apply for the grants, if there were interviews that you had to go through.
Yeah, so when you apply, you'll be. So let's see. With DFINITY, we just applied with our proposal. You go into an application called Submittable, and you'll have like an interview. You'll have an interview process with them after their review. I feel like almost they'll suggest changes. So even with ours, we actually made some changes to our proposal. So it is quite common. It does take around, I would say it took around 3 months for the approval process. So just to get into the first grant keep in mind, will be like a 3-month process. But once you're in, and you complete your first grant and then you reapply for a new one, it goes much faster.
Cool. Okay. Hopefully that answers kind of the question. I think that is all the questions that I can see for now. Do the courses have certificates of completion that can be showcased?
So that's actually sort of that is a work in progress for us. There is an account page to show what's done. We're looking at potentially allow for NFT certificates, or sort of a link, like a link to what you've accomplished on your own, like a vanity name, right? That you could put in LinkedIn, for example. But we're still a work on progress on that. It would be great if any feedback on that too, of how you would, as a user, would like to see to showcase what you've studied, especially for hiring, to being hired.
Cool. Yeah, I think that might be it then. Thank you so much. Oh, another one popped in now. Okay. Does your web app have anything that's integrated with the DFINITY blockchain? I mean, which aspect of it is connected?
Already joined Discord. See if I can share my. Okay, great. Thank you, Matthias. That'd be awesome. Oh, is there another question? I didn't hear.
Yeah. So someone asked whether your web app has anything that's integrated with the DFINITY blockchain. Which aspect of it is connected with the blockchain?
So right now it's with the Motoko programming language. That's for you to build the dApps on the internet computer. So that's currently the education we have. It's an extensive Motoko tutorial with around 30 lessons. So it would be great to definitely try that out, and let me know what you guys think. Yeah, just right. If you go basically AgorApp.dev, go to the courses, you can see the Motoko tutorial.
Cool.
Yeah, we would love to develop a runtime for Rust, and that's actually, we were actually talking to DFINITY about that just actually a couple days ago. Because right now we're working with for Azel, but that's something, and that also allows us to even expand more with other chains that use Rust. So yeah, definitely in the future. Yes, we know the showing 500. We have a bug. So thank you. Right now, I already just reported that as an issue on GitHub before this call, but thanks. That will be fixed by tomorrow.
It's always like that. It always happens
Yeah.
at the least convenient time. Cool. Okay. Well, I see. Okay, we're going to do the final question now because there are actually too many questions coming in. Maybe you could share as well a way for people to kind of a forum where they could ask questions about the app or like your experience in general.
To maybe share the Discord forum so they can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll do that right now. 1 second. There we go.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
Final question then from Eddie is asking, what role is 5G playing in Web3 and is the adoption of either at a reasonable advance?
What goal is, you said 5G?
Yeah.
Can you repeat? 5G.
Yes. What role is 5G playing in Web3 and is the adoption of either at a reasonable advance? Is the question. I'm not sure whether you need clarification or.
Well, I guess the 5G is the network speed. I guess for that we're with AgorApp, it's the focus is with developing with different programming languages. Not sure how 5G would be with that. Maybe I'll better clarification.
Yeah, Eddie, maybe you could clarify the question then in the Discord forum that was shared. Yeah.
That'd be great. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. Thank you so much, Ethan. It was really nice to have you join us. Everyone loved it. So hope to see you soon.
Great. Thanks, Clara.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Now we are going to hear from another project called Hot or Not. Someone from the team will be joining the stage very soon to, again, kind of talk a bit about their project. Hi.
Hi, Clara. I'm doing very well. You're able to hear me properly?
Yes, we can hear you and see you very well.
Wonderful. I'll just quickly share my screen.
Yeah.
That works. Wonderful. Just checking. You're able to see the screen. Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Utkarsh. I am one of the co-founders at Hot or Not. So at Hot or Not, if I have to explain it very, very simply as to what we are doing, it would simply be that we're building a TikTok on blockchain. So a decentralized short video social media platform with the objective of the platform being governed by the people and the platform being for the people. So as far as the journey of Hot or Not is concerned, we started off somewhere in February 2021 as trying to monetize or create a monetization platform for creators. We didn't realize that there are already platforms like Patreon and Hotmart and whatnot already available for creator monetization, and they're doing pretty well as far as that objective is concerned. While addressing all of that, we did come across a very interesting problem wherein we found out that even though there are a lot of companies focusing on creators, we don't really have a lot or any practically any company which is focusing on the lurkers or the passive observers in the social media ecosystem. Now, when we look at the statistics, we find that the lurkers is an immensely larger population as compared to the creators, wherein the creators account for only 50 million people out of the 4.7 billion social media users. Now imagine these lurkers are using the social media platforms on almost like 2.5 hours every day. So that's almost 12 billion man hours down the drain without any financial incentives, across the world. Now that is a big problem, and that is where we pivoted ourselves from being creator monetization or from being creator focused to creating a platform wherein we can, level the playing field for not just creators, but also for the other stakeholders in the social media ecosystem, and, ensure a more equitable distribution, wherein the money is not just hoarded by the social media companies or the advertisers, but is equally distributed to the users, who apparently are supposed to be the most important, cog in the entire machinery, without which the entire machinery comes apart. So that is where, Hotana comes into being. Obviously, another major thing is, that unprecedented control that these social media companies hold. So I think over the last couple of years, a lot of us have heard news like, Twitter banned a couple of people just because they did not say, or just because they were not towing the line which the government wanted them to. Or, TikTok has been banned in multiple geographies, India being a prime example of that. Now, all of this basically shows that there is a lot of centralization and control which resides either with these social media companies or with the governments across the world. And that is where, we felt that it's necessary to build something which is which basically transcends these kind of boundaries and enables the users on the platform to basically express themselves in a very, very free manner. And that is where, Hot or Not came into existence, or was conceptualized, wherein we figured that how do we monetize the, passive observers on the platform without actually getting them to turn towards creation of content. And the answer lied in gaming, or the answer that we found was in the gaming ecosystem. And that is where we, fused the social media platform with the gaming ecosystem to create something which enables monetization for all types of users, without without getting them to change their intrinsic behavior. So if a user likes to create content, they are able to monetize by creating more content. However, if a user, somebody like me, who just looks at content and enjoys their time on social media, I am able to monetize the time that I'm spending, or the attention that I'm giving to the platform, without turning towards creation. At Hot or Not, we are not just reimagining how the monetization works or how the redistribution of wealth works in the entire ecosystem. We are practically reimagining the various aspects of social media, right from how the social media in itself works, to how the advertisements work, how do the users interact with the creators, the followers or the loyalists interact with their influencers, how does the content ownership work, and so on and so forth. So, for example, a very, very good example right now would be, if you post anything on Instagram or TikTok, the moment you post that content on these platforms, the ownership lies with the platform itself, and not necessarily with the content creator. Right? The platform can reproduce and can use their work to suit their own, purposes and aspirations, without taking your consent. And that is where, what we are doing is we're converting all pieces of content to NFTs, so that even if the whatever content is being uploaded by the creator, the ownership still remains with them. And even if somebody is reusing their content or reproducing their content, they get their due share of royalties or of payments from whatever revenue is being generated from that content. All of this within a blanket of a community driven, decentralized governance and moderation. So, as you know, Hot or Not is essentially a short video platform, right? These short videos remain the underlying base layer on which this entire platform is based. So this pretty much works in a very similar manner as to how Instagram or TikTok would work, wherein you upload a video, enhance with music, filters, and whatnot, add some details, upload that video on board, and then you share it across, your friends and family, or your followers or your loyalists, and then gain traction on that video. The more interesting part is the Hot or Not game, which is where we are providing monetization pathways for the lurkers. So now, in addition to just sitting down and scrolling through content mindlessly over hours, as a passive observer or as a lurker, you can also engage with the video. So you can go to the Hot or Not tab, select whether the video is hot or not, select the number of tokens that you want to bet, and then you place your vote or you place your bet. At the end of the hour, if you voted with the majority, you get twice the tokens back. Else, if you voted against it, well, it was a bet, so you lose that one. Right? So in this way, the lurker is able to monetize their time and attention without actually turning towards creation or content creation on the platform. So Hot or Not game, for example, is one of the simplest things that we could think of. We're already looking at more complex ecosystems as far as the gaming ecosystem is concerned, wherein though the underlying still remains the short videos on the platform, we are able to create a more engaging ecosystem around gaming, which includes gaming against the system, peer-to-peer gaming system wherein you just get your friends and family, sit down, enjoy the games on your own, and even to the extent of creating a creator exchange. So what that means is you have basically creators listed as like stocks on an exchange, and you can trade in and trade out of those creators and participate in the journey as they grow and generate or make use of Hot or Not platform to basically earn a living for themselves. Another major part that we are doing completely different from how it is done in the traditional ecosystem is the content moderation. So in this case, we are also handing over the responsibility and the control of content moderation over to the users. So that is where we create a two-layer content moderation, wherein the first line of defense still remains the artificial intelligence based filtering, wherein the AI basically takes care of almost 95% of the content, things like nudity, gore, violence, objectionable content, all of that is taken care of, or illegal content, all of that is taken care of by the AI engine there. What goes through is taken care of by the users, wherein something like let's say a politically motivated content, an AI might not be able to filter it out, but the users or the humans are able to do that. So that is where we rely on our users basically to come moderate the content, vote whether the content should be approved or rejected, and if enough people vote for approve, the content still remains on the system. If the content is rejected, well, it's taken off, and then the piece of video is only visible to the uh, content creator who uploaded the video and not to the other users on the platform. All of this, again, the people who are participating in this are rewarded for their effort that they're putting in as far as content moderation is concerned on the platform. We went live with the current version of the app somewhere in October 2022. So 1st of October 2022 is when we went live. And since then, we have had significant traction on the Hot or Not platform, have garnering more than 250,000 users in a span of just a year, and more than 9.85 million votes on the Hot or Not game since its launch in April. All of this, mind you, without spending a single penny on acquiring users or marketing. Absolutely organic, using our channels through Twitter and with the support of the internet community and ecosystem, and partnering with other projects in the ecosystem is where we've been able to get through this. The internet computer ecosystem and the community at large has played a major role in making Hot or Not where it is. So when we started off, I think we applied for our first grant somewhere in the month of September, and that was our first tryst with the DFINITY Foundation as far as getting a developer grant is concerned. Since then, as we have progressed as a project itself, we have applied for more and more grants subsequently, and then very recently in July 2023, we culminated the project we handed over the project to the community via SNS decentralization sale, wherein we raised almost a little more than 1 million ICP, and we handed the control completely over to the community. So right now, essentially, Hot or Not is a public good where the community takes decisions on what should be implemented, how it should be implemented, what should be the direction that the project should take, and while we are just the major contributors to the project. So that is where I think before we got to a stage wherein we could do the SNS sale and hand over the reins of the project to the community, the developer grants actually played a major role in helping us not only sustain as far as the monetary resources were concerned, but also getting the support from the DFINITY Foundation in terms of what we are building, how should we build it, what are the problems that we are facing, how do we take care of those problems, and so on and so forth. So essentially, if I have to perhaps comment on, or what should or how you should approach the development process or the developer grant process, it's fairly simple. Whatever you're doing, start off with whatever you're doing, explain it in absolute detail as to what you're doing, where do you want this to go, and how do you intend to go there. And trust me, you cannot find more supportive folks than the ones at DFINITY Foundation, especially the ones taking care of the developer grants. They are quite some visionaries, and they understand how this process works. So they're not only they're not there to they not only support you in existing project as far as what you're building, they also look at the vision of what you're trying to build and how does this fit into, the larger scheme of things. So that is where, as we were building Hot or Not, we did get to have 3 different developer grants over a year at different stages and different amounts as we grew and as the requirements of the project expanded. Not only helped us in obviously taking care of the development process, it was practically critical money for us in terms of hiring more talent so that we can speed up the development process as well. In addition to the grants, the DFINITY Foundation has helped us, I think, immensely over, particularly in the process of the SNS decentralization sale. They were a real help in helping us reach out to the projects, reach out to the community at large, and helping us figure out or hammer out the exact details of how do we go about the SNS decentralization sale, to ensure that we really get what we are looking for as far as the SNS decentralization sale is concerned. So yes, that's, I think, pretty much it as far as Hot or Not is concerned, or as far as our journey with DFINITY is concerned over the last practically 2 years now. More than happy to field any questions that anybody might have regarding Hot or Not, the project, or anything of that sort, please.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. People are kind of liking it in the chat, making jokes, who's a lurker, who's not. I've never heard that expression before, but it's actually a really good expression. I'm going to start using it. There are some questions, 2 questions in the kind of questions tab. Daniel asked, how does it benefit being Web3 and also controlled by a DAO, in parentheses SNS?
Right. So for those of you who are uninitiated with the SNS or the IC ecosystem parlance, SNS is basically a service nervous system. So this is very similar to the neuron network nervous system, which controls the ICP blockchain itself. So what DFINITY has done is replicated the NNS and allowed the projects of the dApps building on ICP to convert themselves into a protocol or to convert themselves into a DAO using a very similar framework to SNS to NNS, which they call as the SNS. Now, as far as how does it help being controlled, or how do we benefit from being in the Web3? Just by being in Web3, I think helps us alleviate or solve a lot of problems which are existing in the existing social media ecosystem. Things like privacy, things like the unprecedented control that the centralized authorities have, things like actually like profiteering from the business, right? Being a DAO or being in the Web3 space actually enables us to keep our interests aside and focus majorly on the development of the community. So for example, being a DAO, we are essentially a non-profit project, right? And we are not interested in making money from the ecosystem. And that is where we can truly look at how do we redistribute that wealth away from the intermediaries or the social media companies over to the users in the ecosystem. So that, I think, is a major advantage as far as being a DAO is concerned. Plus, when we talk about a social media ecosystem, right, we are essentially building for the users. So what is better than getting the users involved in the process of how the project is shaping up, rather than we deciding how the project should be shaping up. So that is where I think being a decentralized autonomous organization really helps us progress in terms of giving the users something that they really want in a form that they would like to use it.
Great, thank you. Daniel also asked, how do you moderate? Do you work with Mod Club? Does a moderator get compensation? Would you ban a user from uploading?
Okay. Thank you, Daniel, for that question.
A lot of questions in one.
Right. I'll answer them one by one. So the first question is, how do we moderate? We are already working on the decentralized content moderation, module that I just showcased, wherein we're working on a 2-layer content moderation ecosystem, wherein the first layer is the line of defense is the AI filtering on the platform, and the second line of defense is the users themselves. Right now, that is under development. for now, one of our team members or a couple of our team members actually sit down and moderate content that is being reported by the users on the platform. Do we work with Motlab? Not right now, though we are exploring some synergies over there. If we can find something, why not? At the end of the day, both of us are projects in the same ecosystem, and the intention is to do whatever is best for the user, rather than just doing or just keeping our interest at the center of everything. Do the moderators get a compensation? Definitely. So whenever a user basically will participate in the second line of defense, where they are helping us moderate the content, um, they are getting paid for it, or they are getting rewarded for it. So even if if they are voting for the content to be approved or rejected, and that is exactly what the opinion of the majority is, they get rewarded in a very similar way as to how the hot or not game works. So that basically gives an incentive to the moderator also to appropriately classify the content on the platform. Would you ban a user from uploading? If there are enough reports and if the community decides, that can be looked at. However, once if any kind of content is rejected in the moderation process, we don't necessarily ban the user on the first offense or on the second offense or even after multiple offenses. Typically that content is just visible to the creator who uploaded it, and not allowed on the platform any further, as far as the content moderation is concerned.
Awesome. Thank you so much. A bit more of a general question now from Kumar, who asks, what were the problems you faced while developing?
Apart from, I think, the general problem that a startup typically face while they're in the initial stages of POCs and iterations and whatnot, I think I'll focus a little more on the specific problems that we faced with building on the Web3 world. The first thing was, we started building on internet computer right from May 2021. That was when the internet computer actually went into had their Genesis block, and actually went live with the public blockchain. So that is so even when we started building on that, given that we were one of the initial and the earliest projects on the chain, um, there were a lot of things which were still under process or in the roadmap, even as far as the blockchain was concerned, let alone us. So we had a lot of dependencies as far as technology is concerned, and the technological capabilities are concerned, in terms of building on internet computer protocol. However, that was never a deterrent for us as far as our conviction as of the internet computer ecosystem is concerned. So at that time, we did use a lot of, we resorted to a lot of Web3 alternatives, or Web2 alternatives, sorry, and we migrated away from them onto the Web3 world as and when we got more and more capabilities uploaded and installed on the IC blockchain, which was also in line with enabling us to maintain the user experience on the platform. So for us, I think the user experience has always been the most paramount, parameter while implementing anything. So for example, even today, we host our videos or we stream our videos from Cloudflare, because even though we are able to upload those videos on internet computer blockchain, we understand that the user experience would get hampered if we do that, right? So there is still a little things which have to be taken care of before we can actually migrate our video streaming services from the Web2 world onto the internet computer blockchain. But rest assured, once we have those capabilities in place, we will migrate those capabilities over to the Web3 world as well, becoming a truly decentralized platform itself. I think you can find a lot more details on this in our white paper. I'll surely share the link of our white paper as well, just after just let me actually do that. You can find a lot of answer to a lot of these questions on for more information on hot or sorry.
No worries. I think I'm kind of weary that we are having a lot of questions come through for each speaker, which is amazing, but it's taking up a bit more time than planned. So I'm going to go for a final question, and then maybe you guys can pop all your questions in the chat and you can help answer them, and maybe even share a place where they can ask even more questions in the future as well.
Please.
So, okay, for our final question then, are users responsible to vote out other users, and on what are the basis of removal or blocking a user? Maybe you potentially answered that in a previous question. So let's go with a question from Ahmed, who asks, I think there are thousands of videos in Heart or Not. Who is paying the cycles for storing these videos? Does user or creator have to care about storage limit?
Sure. So I think, yes, there are a lot of videos actually on Hot or Not right now. So I think there are around I think around 200,000 videos uploaded on Hot or Not in the last 1 year. As I said, the videos are currently stored on Cloudflare. We are paying for that cost from the Dapp is basically taking care of that cost, on the Web2 ecosystem, and so is the cost for the cycles is taken care of from the Dapp itself. So while we are putting up, so every how we work typically is every quarter we put up a budgetary proposal wherein we basically estimate the cost that we are supposed to incur over the next quarter. We accordingly submit a budgetary proposal to withdraw funds from the treasury, which is then taken into account and utilized for paying the salaries, for taking care of all the infrastructural cost, other technological cost, and all the other miscellaneous and associated cost of running the project, so to say, as far as the project is concerned. So as of now, we are actually funding the project from whatever we have raised, whatever million ICP we have raised, in the decentralized SNS decentralization sale in July 2023.
Amazing. Thank you. So yeah, like I said to everyone who still has questions, even if you've already posted them in the questions tab, maybe it's easier if you post them in the regular chat, just so that everyone sees it and it's just kind of nicer that way. The final thing, can I please get a photo with you as well for social media, if that's okay? So I'm going to count to 3 and then you can smile. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lara. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was really nice meeting you.
Thank you so much for joining. So, okay, guys, that was from Hot or Not. Now we are going to invite our third speaker to the stage, who is from Orally Network. So as they're getting ready to join, like I said, please pop all your questions in the questions tab. I apologize if we run over a little bit today. Hopefully that is okay. Hi, Ihor. How are you?
Hello, everyone.
Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yeah, it's correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry that we might run over a little bit, but it seems like people are just way too engaged. So, and that's never a bad thing. So I apologize for that.
Yeah, it's totally fine. It's okay. Yeah,
Cool.
My name is Igor, and I want to introduce you today orally what we do and what kind of Oracle services we provide. So I'm gonna share my screen. In general, what we do, like what is Orally? Orally is fully on-chain Oracle solution that could provide real-world data, like external data, to isolated EVM-compatible network. So we utilize great features of ICP for that, like HTTP outcalls and ECDCA signatures to fetch data from real-world servers, aggregate it somehow in a way that user need to, and deliver by transaction to EVM-compatible chains to exact smart contracts on those chains. So in general, problem that we have a solution like a Chainlink too, but they're really fixed about solutions that they can recommend to projects. And when you have non-trivial solution, you need to wait like for 9 months from them, and you will need to pay a huge amount of money to them. So that's why we decided to, in general, to build our solution on top of ICP. And usually oracles create like up-chain solutions. So they create their own chain of validators who validate this data. And and it's costly because you need to reward a validator of your network and so on. But we utilize ICP consensus for that, so we need to pay like costs on our cycles burned on ICP. So it's tens of times cheaper, and we can be more customizable, that we can provide different type of data. So it's the most selling point, that we can provide custom data that the project need. So they can project itself, when they have a non-trivial problem, not just providing price feed, but maybe a rating of some liquidity pools and so on, like more complex data, they can source it on our list on our tool, and it will be possible to be delivered to their smart contracts. So we combine like different tooling, all those names like from mythological of Oracle entities, and our main idea that to make it a framework when projects could come to our application or made it from their EVM contract and just set up in by different communication with different tools, any type of custom data stream that they need to. So they won't need to wait like a huge amount of time for pipeline of task of other Oracle. They will be able to create an instant like data streams that they need to. They can utilize like CBuild to fetch and different data from real world. They can list their own type of data, that if they need to have some custom data feeds, we have like Pitya for automation. So like Pitya and Apollo, it's a familiar but it's like push in Oracle, and it's a request based Oracle. So they can get data from CBL that you're already pre-listed there and deliver to your smart contract. And other tool, like we have a decentralized identification, because it super rely on our CBL tool, that we can provide proof of user belonging to some social network account to smart contract on, for example, Arbitrum chain, and they will be able to make it much simpler UX for users. So they just will need to have like login Gmail button, and then will be authenticated fully in decentralized manner, because we don't have any off-chain services at all, and our all tools, it's hosting on like different canisters on ICP blockchain. And yeah, we're just, let's go through a little how it's in general working. So for example, CBL and how it's fetching data. It's fetch data from ICP itself have exchange rate canister, and it fetch data from different centralized exchanges and data forex providers. We aggregate this data and deliver to user like with a signature and so on. But also we provide our main feature that we can provide custom data feeds. So user come and can set up that they want to fetch data from those sources, aggregated in some way, and it also will be delivered as you wish and could be verified on any EVM compatible chains. It's how it's our automation tool working, that it's getting data feeds from CBIL and create on frequency of time or volatility of some asset condition requests that will go to your contract already on like, for example, Lending protocol on Ethereum or any other project. We can be like very helpful for projects like Gamify and DeFi projects and RVA assets and so on. And also our request-based tool, it's like automation, but like a Pitya, but on a request-based thing. So you will be able to request some data from on your contract on the EVM chain just directly from your like Solidity code. You can ask our contract for that. Our Apollo canister, it will be checking all requests and fulfill all requests needed to be delivered to this chain. It's how our decentralized identification work, that user can interact only with our Cassandra canister. So like with a native iframe of Gmail, for example, get access token from them and verify this access token on our decentralized execution like canister on ICP. and then we provide the user as a proof, and which like signature as a proof could be provided to EVM contract. And on this contract, it could be already verified that it's really valid data, and this user really this user really belongs to some Gmail, for example. Yeah, and also we have like a pre-processing tool. It's more complex thing because we provide like customization for projects, so they can provide some kind of algorithm that they need to pre-process the data, and we get this algorithm published like and deployed to different separate ICP canister, and in the future it could be utilized for this data flow like with a PTO or CBIL and so on. It could be delivered and data could be pre-processed before it delivered to your smart contract. And yeah, we have also like a cross-chain messaging tool. It's our plan to do it in the future. Right now we haven't implemented yet, but yeah, we want to create a simpler solution to make integration, because, for example, Chainlink recently announced about CCAP, but they have like a lack of integration, and they could cover like few chains. But we want to make it like more easy to integrate solution, and it could be used for integrated with some private blockchain when you need to deliver some assets and so on. So our main idea to make it super easy to integrate with any VM compatible chains. And also, yeah, I have an external slide for regarding ICP grants that we are building already for 1 year, and our vision of everything changed a few times, of course. And yeah, we are right now on the third grant. Actually, in general, we are getting help from ICP, really a lot of help, because on the first time, help like in technical ways. Right now, we have a direct communication with the teams that, with ICP teams that we need to, for example, exchange rate canister, or we are right now one of the first users who utilize IC EVM RPC canister. It's actually a super great feature, and it also helping us. Yeah, we giving them feedback, and they listen to us and so on. Also, they are helping with the networking and growth, so they can introduce you to some projects or blockchains or so on that you need to. If like, I think it's more rare case, but it could be they could provide like external team for business development or researching or something. So you won't pay anything for them, but they will work for you to like prove your hypothesis or any other thing that the service provides. And in general, how it looks like, I want to show you how it looks like. For example, like a PT subscriptions. So we have integrated with few, like it's our staging, and we have integrated with a few testnets there. And for example, like Linear testnet, we have a subscription that on Linear testnet, on this contract address, and this method, each like 60 minutes, will provide data from CBIL, like ETH USD pair data. So ETH price feed just provide once by hour every time to this contract, and it's updating. And we can check that out on their Explorer. It's under internal transaction, because we use for optimization a multi-call, and we can see that every time it's providing this data here, and it's actual like latest price that we could deliver. So yeah, we have also like documentation and site and so on. And we're really contactable. If you have any questions, you can reach us out. Yeah, I think it's pretty much it from my side.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Like the other ones, I have to ask you, or want to ask you, whether you would take a photo with me for us to use on Twitter. So if you're ready to smile, 1, 2, 3, smile. Great. Yeah, we will share that on our Encode Club Twitter and on my personal Twitter as well. So if you want to drop maybe your Twitter in the chat, people can go in and follow you, or any other resources that you want to share, feel free to do so in the chat.
Yeah, post over Twitter there.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining and for sharing a bit about Orally and about the grantee program in general. Are there any final things you want to kind of share with the participants of this Educate series, or final words?
I'm not sure yet, yeah, but yeah, in general, I wanted to say that it's really great. Firstly, when we decided to develop something on ICP, because we've checked the documentation and understood that in technical way, it's super great, like features that other blockchain cannot provide, and that's why we decided to build it on ICP, because you can utilize like great features like HTTP outcalls and ECDCA signature, and can build like a super huge amount of projects that like industry needs to have, but and it's not possible. So and our Oracle solution is just one of them, and we decided to do it because we already encountered some problem with Oracle solution before, and right now our like ideal customer, like a project that already researched Oracle solution on the market and realized that they cannot fit the specific problem that they have, and they decide to build their own centralized solution for that. And we want to cover that part. And we want to help some project to avoid any centralized solution at all, and just providing like cost-effective and fully automated decentralized solution for that.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you once again for joining and for sharing everything. For now, I'm kind of a bit cautious about time. So I'm going to say thank you once again, Ihor. And then I'm going to actually start sharing my screen. And just for quick, like 2 minutes, I'm just going to go through a few things with everyone about the kind of final steps for this program.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, see you.
Thank you. So yes, I'll go through this really, really quickly because I am aware that we're kind of over time already. But the first thing I just wanted to say was congratulations, you made it to the end. Even if you just joined for this final session, or even if you kind of just watched 1 or 2 workshops, or if you watched all of them and joined us every single week, congratulations. We're at the end. It's bittersweet. I'm very happy that you all joined us, but also a bit sad that it's over. But one thing you can do is you can kind of share the fact that you've participated. So you can tag us on Twitter, the Encode Club Twitter, the DFINITY one, of course, but also my personal one. If you want to just like connect on there, that's awesome. Let us know what you thought. The really exciting thing that I wanted to share with you all is the prize for the weekly challenges. So basically, the top 40 submitters of the weekly challenges will each receive a $50 reward in ICP tokens, which is a really, really cool thing. It's the top 40, not the first 40. So that means that the more of the weekly challenges that you submit, the higher the chances are of you actually winning this prize. Top 40 basically means the top amount of challenges that have been submitted. So the people who have submitted all of them, and then how many questions you got correct, and kind of your general, like you get plus points for like giving more in-depth answers, for example, or for giving us really valuable feedback and that sort of thing. The really, really important thing to keep in mind is that even if you haven't submitted a single challenge yet, you still have lots of time to do so. On the slide, it actually says 7 days, but the deadline is next Friday, so you technically have 8 days. But yeah, so please check it out if you haven't already. It's just a really simple way to kind of get some tokens. And the weekly challenges are quite like straightforward. I've actually managed to complete all of them, which is very impressive because I have no not very technical background. So if I can do it, you guys can all do it. I promise you. It takes like 10 minutes or so, I would say, per each challenge. And yes, you have the nights as well. That is very correct. So that is really exciting. I would just scan this QR code if I were you, and you will be directed to a kind of compiled list of all the weekly challenges. So week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4, which has been just released today. So go find them there. I will also post all of this on the Discord as usual, but if you want to get started already, then you can do that. Really quick, Martin, I will share the link for week 4 in 1 minute. I'm just going to tell you another really exciting thing, which is that we've announced the ICP Zero to Dapp Hackathon today as well, which will launch on the 16th of January. You can just scan this QR code and register straight away. It's going to be really, really fun. I will be the program manager for the hackathon. So if you join, I will see you again. We can talk about, what projects to build, and there will be workshops. There will be loads of resources. Things will be announced as we get closer and closer to the date. But yeah, it's going to be a really good one. If you're a complete beginner, don't worry. We will be there to support you all throughout the experience. So don't be intimidated. If you're more experienced, of course, you're more than welcome to join as well. Everyone is welcome, all different levels. So that is really exciting. Here is the link to the week 4 challenge. So you can just go directly to this week's challenge if you want to here. Yeah, let me know, guys, if you, let me stay on that one actually for a bit longer. Let me know if you guys are joining the hackathon. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to email me, DM me on Discord, send me a message on Twitter, whatever you guys prefer. Final words, just want to say thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot. I hope to be seeing you all in the hackathon. Some of you have already said that you're joining, so I'm super excited about that. Other than that, thank you all. Thank you to all the speakers. Thank you all for joining this final session. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever time it is where you are. See you all very soon, hopefully. And thank you, guys. Bye.